Welcome to Candace Lynn TV, the YouTube channel where I do a little bit of everything. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the Cricut Infusible ink transfer sheets to make this t-shirt. I created this full design using my iPhone, using free fonts. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into the video. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Phonto, where I get all of my free fonts from. Click the camera in the middle, plain images, the white square at the right at the top, and then the icon at the top on the right as well, and then use and save. Once you do that, you can click anywhere to add text, and I'm going to type the first part of my design, which is assistant. And I'm not going to use this font, so I'm going to show you guys how to change the font. You can click on font, and once that is done, I'm like, seriously, like, there's so many free fonts on here that you can choose from. I'm not even going to be able to show y'all half of them because I'm going to use Homestead regular for mine, but there's so many more options that you can use, and you can download some from the font. I'll tell you about that later. So once I do that, I'm going to center it and then click style and then change it to black, so just so you can see it. And then I'm going to add text again because I want another part of my design to be the same font, which is mom, and the same size. So then I'm going to move that onto the screen and adjust that, basically just to have it in there, because I'm going to move it around again once I do my next text, which is going to be to the, oh, okay, I'm still doing some moving. So now I can click anywhere and then add text again, and the last part, which is going to be the middle part, is to the click fonts and go to my fonts. These are the fonts that I got from the font, and I have a video up already showing how to use those fonts and how to get them into Phonto, so don't forget to watch that video. There's an iCard somewhere that I had up here, and also the description is going to be the link is going to be in the description box. So once you do that, I can add that to the middle of my square, and I'm going to use that as a focal point so that everything gets placed centered, and I can basically just move everything around to have it the way I want it to look finally on my final product. So at this point, that's all I'm doing, is moving around my text to make it more visually appealing, not too far apart, not too big. So I'm just playing around with the placement. And then I'm also going to take to the and make it a little bit smaller, and then also go back in and readjust the placement because it's not centered anymore. So just making it centered again, and then making sure everything is the way I want it to be. And then I'll click at the icon on the bottom on the right and then save image, and then it's going to save it to my photos. So now I can go into Cricut Design Space to finalize my design. I'm going to click on new project, then click on upload, and then select from photo library and pick the image that I just saved from Phonto. Once I do that, I can click remove and get rid of the excess so that you can see what it's actually going to cut out. Make sure you do not forget the middle part of your letters, and that little box that's at the top on the right will show you and help you make sure that you do not forget any small pieces that are left there, so that it cuts it out the correct way. You don't want to leave the inside pieces of like your A's, your O's, P's, any letter that has like an inner piece. So just make sure you're removing those, and once I'm done doing that, I like to look over it a few times to make sure, and then I'm going to click next, and I'm going to look at it again because I need to make sure again, and then I'm going to click next. So you click next 2 times, this screen will come up. You're going to click the option that is to cut, and then you can name it whatever you want to. I'm going to name mine assistant to the mom. For some reason, I decided the longest title possible or name possible, and then I'm going to click save. Once it is saved, it'll bring up all of the image that you've done this to in your Cricut Design Space. Click the image that you want and then insert at the bottom. Once it's inserted, it's going to look like this on your Cricut Design Space. I'm going to click on my design, and I'm going to change the size by going to edit. Make sure you hit the unlock button in between your width and your height. My width is going to be 7 and my height is 4.5. I've already measured the shirt that I'm going to put this on, which is my daughter's shirt, and it's a size 2T, so that's the size that I'm using for the shirt that I have. I don't want it too big, but I want you to still be able to see it. And once I have my sizing, I'm going to click make it. Any day now, I'm going to click make it. Any day now. So once I click make it, up here at the top, you're going to make sure that you turn your mirror on. So you click that little area up there, then you slide the bar where it says mirror on. So now your image is going to be mirrored. You must mirror your image or it's not going to come out right, and then click next. Once you do that, you click on the Cricut that you'll be using. Like I have more than one, I only have one. And then the next screen is going to come up where you just basically follow the instructions. And they're very simple and easy to follow. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure your material is set to custom. And then you're going to pick what the material is, which is the Cricut Infusible ink transfer sheets. And then you're going to make sure, like I said, it's going to give you some instructions. Make sure that it's mirrored, and make sure that it is your vinyl is the print side up on your mat. And it's also going to give you the ability to change the depth of what's cutting. So I just left mine as default, and you just follow the steps. So your machine is going to tell you when it's time to load your mat. Once that first light is flashing, you load your mat into the grooves. And then when that next light starts flashing, you hit that button, and it's going to start cutting out your material. And as you can see, I did place my vinyl, not my vinyl, my transfer sheet print side up. Now what I'm going to do is basically weed out my design. Now at first I saw people saying to not use the weeding tool, but at first I did have to use it just to get the corner up, and after that it was very, very easy to just use my hands to peel the outer parts. And also it was easy to just peel the inside too. Just be careful and take your time while you're weeding out your material, because it's not like vinyl, it feels different. Just take your time and just get a feel for what you're actually peeling up and what you want to leave behind. So that's what I'm going to do here, is just weed out my design. Once my design is okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting the inner parts out of my letters, and I'm starting off using my tool, but I realized that it's not really helping. So I'm just picking it up and basically bending the transfer sheet so that I can easily get the inner parts out, which is easier to do it that way. The tool was in my way when I tried it the first time, but if you need it, use it. I didn't really need it. Now that my design is ready to be applied to my shirt, I have a towel laid down up under the shirt, and then inside the shirt between the front and the back I have a piece of cardstock to keep anything from bleeding through. And I'm going to iron the shirt just a little bit to remove any moisture. Then I'm going to take my transfer sheet, which has a design already cut out, and I'm going to place that on the shirt, and take one piece of butcher paper and place that on top of the actual design. You only need one piece of butcher paper, so that's what I'm doing, is getting rid of the extra. Now I'm taking the heat press and sitting it on the design at 360 degrees for 120 seconds. Once that is done, you can remove your heat press, take off the butcher paper, and wait a little while to let it cool off. It's a little hot, and voila, like y'all wouldn't even know this is my first time actually using this, and it went so easily and so smooth. So go ahead and watch some more videos, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what I should do next.